Here we are then with Jimmy Broadbent before our Praga race. Now Jimmy, you were on this podium yesterday, but it's been taken away from you. We don't know much yet. Can you shed some light for us?
Yeah, basically we had a problem with a wastegate. It was sticking open at some points, and when that happens you make a bit more boost. It's kind of frustrating that something outside of our control takes that away, given that we were turning the boost down, we were aware it was there, we did everything to slow the car down to make it fair. And given that we both drove amazing yesterday, it's pretty painful to have it taken away. But it's what it is, it's the regs. So.
Is that the same issue you had in qualifying yesterday too?
And Friday as well. So
wow.
They obviously couldn't find it. But
is it fixed?
We'll find out.
Now we see Gordy in the car behind you. Just have a look to the right hand side, Alan. Why is he in the car now? Because it seems a little bit early.
Basically, we've been given a little bit of a saving grace by the organisers who said you can go test it, go do it in an app out, that sort of thing. And just see if it's still got the same problem, because otherwise we'll get to qualifying, same thing happens again, we get excluded again. So obviously, we're thankful for that opportunity to go do it, but we're a little bit, we're not sure how it's going to turn out. So.
Because with the point situation, you don't want to not finish. You want to at least get around the track and get some points on the board, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean we're pretty much out of championship now because of that, because our competitors got a win and we got nothing. So that's a shame, but again, it's racing.
That is racing. So what can you hope for today? What's the best case scenario?
Win on merit and show everyone we can do it anyway.
Best of luck, Jimmy. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
So there we go. Plenty of emotion down here in the Praga paddock. Fingers crossed for Jimmy and Gordy to get a finish today and possibly, of course, a podium. It was fantastic racing from Gordy yesterday. Let's hope they can do the same again today and make it more competitive. Here we are then. We've moved over to the Team Mattel paddock, and different atmosphere here. Charlie, you guys were third yesterday, promoted to first now, because we understand, we'll go and speak to them shortly, but the team in second were also DQ'd.
Yeah, it came as a shock to us. We had left Park Ferme and came back down to the team here, and then like I say, I was having some dinner, and someone came in and I nearly spat the food out, and they told me, the amazing. I think there was 3 cars. I don't know what the full-on problems were. But yeah, to have what we did yesterday, and then we'd gone out the window, found a little bit better setup for the race. Not hugely the fastest, but just nice to drive. So we were like, well, we've got something to work with, and somehow we've come away with a win in the first race. It's been brilliant.
I mean, in terms of the championship, you guys were top 3 anyway in the championship. You were leading. Yeah. I mean, you're running away with it now, because in progress, what we're learning is as long as you finish, you get some decent points. If you don't finish, that's a really bad scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we've focused on really, is just being consistent, trying to be relatively at the sharp end, and we've had a bit of luck, and we've taken it, we've maximised the luck we've been given, so we know it swings and roundabouts a lot. We are leading, we've just got to try and keep head down in every race at a time.
And your teammates here promoted to second as well. Great day for Team Mattel.
Mattel's, we were well tough with it, so yeah, when it all happened and it was a 1-2 again, can't go wrong with that.
Best of luck with racing today.
Thank you very much.
Right, let's go and speak to car number 4. Also disqualified. We believe it was ride height, but we'll go and find out.
We haven't quite got time for that because the cars are already on their green flag lap ready for the rolling starts. Qualifying took place this morning, and it is the number 87 car that qualified fastest. It is the amateur drivers who start the race today, so yes, Jimmy Broadbent is on pole. He starts the car alongside the number 4 Raw Motorsport car, Matt Bell taking the start, sharing with Rob Weldon. Jimmy Broadbent, of course, sharing with Gordy Much. Second row, it is the Bridles, car number 84. Chris Bridle starts, his twin brother Ed will take over. And alongside then the number 29, started by Dan Gore, Chippy Westmail will take over. Then we've got the championship leaders, number 77, started by Charles Hall. Scott Mittel takes over the 77 car. Then number 31 of Rod Goodman, he drives solo. 7th on the grid should be the number 86, yes, that car is there. Driven by Jem Hepworth, the former Praga champion, sharing with David Morales, the American. Car 85, the white car, is next. That's started by Jay Morton. Ben Collins, the former Stig, the pro driver, to take over. And at the back of the field, the University of Wolverhampton car, number 11. Shane Kelly will take the start, and Stefano Lini will take over. So it's the other way round. So yesterday, the AM drivers start. Pace car leading the round. 9 cars on the grid, and Goldie is on pole. Jimmy Broadbent in pole position. Repeated problems yesterday with the turbo overboosting due to a loose pipe. The car took the win but sadly was disqualified. We also saw the second place car, which was the number 4 of Rob Weldon and Matt Bell, disqualified because of failing a ride height check. There was another car excluded for the same reason, the number 31 of Rod Goodman, and it was the 77 of Hall and Mittel who inherited victory. They have a 20-second success penalty at their pit stop to serve as a result of that. Okay, here we go then. Race number 2 of the weekend for the Praga Cup UK, their second ever standalone race here on the Snetterton circuits. First was yesterday. Towards the red lights they come then. The revs from these 365 bhp turbo engines rise, and we are underway down towards the first corner, and it is Matt Bell, as expected, who moves into the lead in car number 4. It's a 1 hour race with a mandatory pit stop. They head down towards Wilson's hairpin for the first time. It's the number 4 of Matt Bell, experienced sports car racer who leads the way, driving as the amateur driver this weekend though. That number 4 could be one of the favourites here, the Raw Motorsports car. Up into second is Chris Bridle in car number 84, the twins who began their careers karting at Buckmore Park. Up there in second place. They were third yesterday, they inherited third place. They have a 10-second penalty to serve. It was the 29 car of Mittel cars that was second, and they have a 15-second penalty to serve as Charles Hall makes a move. Broadbent's on the grass. Through goes Charles Hall up into third, the ex-GT racer in number 77, sharing with the boss of Mittel cars, Scott Mittel. Broadbent from pole position is down to 4th. Long way to go yet though, a 1 hour race. Out in front it is Matt Bell, number 4. Raced in the European Le Mans series among other things in the past, as well as in British GT. 29 there, that's the car of Dan Gore, the ex-F1000 single-seater racer, sharing with Chippy Westmail. Now in the clear, the Raw Motorsport car. Stunning looking machines, these Pragas, sort of midway between a sports prototype and a single-seater. These two cars, you could say. Unique cars, built in the Czech Republic by Praga, who have over 100 years of history making not just cars, but various other machinery as well. They compete in the Dakar Rally in the truck class. Motorcycles, military vehicles, even aircraft in the Czech Republic. Very active in the world of karting as well, as Charles Hall in the car that won yesterday, the number 77 black and green Mittel cars machine, trying to make a move on Chris Bridle to go through for second place, and he's done so. Charles Hall had a win at Silverstone as well. He was very rapid from the start there at least in the second race, where a light rain shower threw things into chaos briefly. There's Broadbent in 4th place behind them, the 87, sharing with Gordy Much. He started the race yesterday, built up a big enough lead to hand over to Jimmy. Sadly, the car had that overboosting issue and was removed from the results. Matt Bell continues to lead. Maybe classed as amateurs, Matt Bell and Charles Hall, but they have a lot of racing experience. Former pros, you could call them. Bell's away and gone in front. Rod Goodman is up into 5th place, number 31. He was disqualified for failing a ride height check at the end of yesterday's race. Behind him now is number 29 of Dan Gore. Then the 86, which is Jem Hepworth, Praga champion a couple of years ago, the Devonshire-based racer. She raced with Jimmy Broadbent last season in the 87, until Gordy Much took over. Behind them, the number 11, which is the University of Wolverhampton run by their motorsport engineering student, Shane Kelly, the ex-F3 Cup racer at the wheel. And Jay Morton, the ex-SAS soldier, at the back in number 85, part of the crew of SAS Who Dares Wins on Channel 4, sharing with Ben Collins. 87 car trying to retake 3rd place from Chris Bridle. His brother Ed, the quicker of the twins, as through goes the 29, past Rod Goodman. Dan Gore making the move there, and Jem Hepworth's going to go through as well. He dives underneath the 31. Has Rod Goodman got a problem there, losing places? Maybe he ran wide coming out of Nelson's corner there. Starts to settle down now. Jay Morton at the back, number 85. Here comes the number 11 of Shane Kelly. He's got a run on the 86, no, it's the 31, so Rod Goodman has really lost momentum there. The only solo driver in the race. Around the outside goes Shane Kelly, takes the place away, up into 7th position. As Goodman's last lap was a 1:58, the slowest on circuit at the moment. The leader's living in the 1:52s. Rod Goodman could drop to the rear of the field here. Normally a consistent driver rather than out-and-out pace in the Raw Motorsport run number 31, teammate to the race-leading number 4. Lead gap was just over 3 seconds at the end of the previous lap. It's the first year we've seen Praga's running as a standalone series, this one-make Praga Cup UK. Some grand prizes on offer to the winning teams and drivers this year as well. The winning team receives a new Praga R1. They win a new car to race in the series. The winning drivers receive entry to a 24-hour race. Second place receives entry to the entry fees paid towards the Praga Cup 2023. But the third place drivers receive a pair of Praga carts. Very impressive prizes on offer. And the 87, Jimmy Broadbent, the world's most famous sim racer, as he's known. Does a lot of work with Gran Turismo. This is not playing Gran Turismo, this is the real thing. Jimmy's made a very quick transition to the real world of car racing. This is racing partner last season, Jem Hepworth, under fire from Shane Kelly, starting from the back of the grid. Working through the field nicely. Through Murray's they go. 6 minutes of the race gone. A long way to go yet. 4 cars together towards the back of the field here. Hepworth, Shane Kelly, Rod Goodman, and Jay Morton. Jay Morton going well here, keeping in touch with the cars ahead of him. He actually lapped slightly quicker last time through than Jem Hepworth. That's impressive. Jem Hepworth was part of the selection process for W Series this year. Sadly did not manage to land a spot on the grid, but you never know, in years to come we might see Jem in the W Series, of course being dominated by Jamie Chadwick once again. The lead gap is just under 3 seconds now between Matt Bell and Charles Hall. 3.3 seconds clear of the third place fighters. Up the inside, Shane Kelly takes the 86 of Jem Hepworth. Good to see the University of Wolverhampton car. They've had 1 or 2 problems with that car this year. It's good to see it moving through the field now. Good drive by Shane Kelly, the ex-Formula 3 Cup star. Good 3 Cup for older Formula 3 chassis. Chris Bridle still third ahead of Broadbent. And a gap of 4 seconds back to Dan Gore as Shane Kelly runs wide. It's a wheel onto the dirt there. There's Dan Gore up ahead of this group. 5 seconds ahead of the Hepworth-Kelly battle. Spectacular cars, the Praga R1s. Certainly something very different indeed. The Praga brand only recently launched in the UK. A number of brand ambassadors taking part, and no less a person than the former Formula 1 driver Romain Grosjean is an ambassador for Praga. Running wide there, Shane Kelly. A bit of a lock-up into Murray's. Grosjean competes in sim racing alongside Gordy Much, who will take over Jimmy Broadbent's car. Side by side up over the line, trying to go around the outside is Jem Hepworth. Trying to take the 11 of Shane Kelly following that mistake at the last corner, but he holds on. Kelly in 6th position. Over the line they go. The fastest lap of the race has been done by Charles Hall, 1:50.880. Lap speed's getting quicker and quicker as the race goes on, as you might expect. 4 laps completed now by leader Matt Bell. Charles Hall is starting to hunt him down. Just over 2.25 seconds down. We concentrate on this close battle towards the rear of the field at the moment, headed by Shane Kelly in the University of Wolverhampton car, producing a new generation of motorsport engineers through its courses. Pretty good at producing motorsport commentators, that university as well. Rod Goodman in behind them, the 31. Jay Morton at the back in the 8. There's our leader. Now he's Charles Hall catching him, only slightly. Matt Bell leads. There is Hall. He'll hand over to Scott Vittel at the pit stop. But of course, that car, the winner yesterday, has a 20-second penalty to serve at its pit stop. This car has a 15-second penalty to serve. Dan Gore and Chippy Westmail, they were second yesterday. It's the Bridles who were third. They have a 10-second penalty, additional time to serve at their pit stop. Dave Kelly pulling away from Jem Hepworth. It's a good drive by the Irish-born racer. Field starting to space out slightly now. Rod Goodman recovering after a bit of a slow start in the 31. Lead gap coming down by just a couple of tenths of a second that time through. It's down to just over 2 seconds between Bell and Hall. Bridle is now nearly 5 seconds off the top two. He's 3 seconds clear of Broadbent in 4th place. Dan Gore rather on his own in 5th. He's 6 seconds off the 4th place car, but he's 8 seconds ahead of this group. The 86 car was driven in the opening rounds. The Arden by Idola car by Alex Connor and Tom Canning. Alex Connor, the young single-seater racer, and Tom Canning, the ex-British GT4 champion. Raced in the invitation class because they are both pro drivers. Here it's Jem Hepworth sharing with David Morales, the GB3 single-seater racer from the US. Jay Morton, of course, will hand over to Ben Collins. He really needed the introduction, formerly the Stig on Top Gear. 5 laps completed then. Still Charles Hall with the fastest lap of the race. Bit of support for Shane Kelly in our YouTube chat. He is running well up there in 6th position. Battle heading under the bridge now. Yes, Kelly's got clear of Jem Hepworth and she's under fire from Rod Goodman. It's Radical sports car racer trying to fight back. A couple of cars we are missing this weekend, including Tim Gray Motorsport. Their 2 cars not here. They, of course, from the reigning champions, Richard Wells and Alex Capadia. Alex is competing in the European Le Mans Series this weekend, the pro driver of the pair, so they couldn't complete. And also we're missing Miles Lacey, the supercar YouTuber, and Tommy Foster. They won at Alton Park, not able to be here this weekend. Still your leader is Matt Bell. Gap is back up to 2.3 seconds. There are the leaders coming into Agostini. Matt Bell in red, Charles Hall in green. Raw Motorsport leads Mittel Cars. Scott Mittel began racing in the 750 Motor Club Low Cost Series. Almost Caterham 7 type cars powered by Ford Crossflow engines, if I remember rightly, before he turned to building his own race car, Scott Mittel. He'll take over the car from Charles Hall. They're well clear of 3rd place, the Bridle twins, in their car run by Idola Motorsport. They're nearly 6 seconds back now on the 2 leaders. Jimmy Broadbent 3 seconds further back in Goldie, as his cars know. Down through the bomb hole. See how stable these cars are at high speed. They just stick to the road. So much downforce. This unique shape. Beautiful to look at as well, the Praga R1. I was at their headquarters up in Cheshire a short while ago. Great to have a close-up look at a few of these cars and of their some of their karts as well, the Praga karts. Very enjoyable way to go endurance racing. The 85 of Jay Morton catching up to the back of Jem Hepworth, because Rod Goodman has already gone through up into 7th position. Jem Hepworth does seem to be struggling a little here, it has to be said. There goes Matt Bell. It was as though Charles Hall ran wide there on the hairpin. We'll see what the gap is next time through. It had come down to 1.5 seconds last time through. Yes, Hall's dropped away again. I think he just overshot the hairpin a little. Trying to close in. Further back there with the headlights ablaze is Chris Bridle. Still in 4th is Broadbent. Then it's Dan Gore in the 29 car. Looking on the camera lens there above the Bentley Straight, do I see a few spots of rain? Don't tell me we're going to have a repeat of Silverstone. I think it might be beginning to rain here at Snetterton. We've got 45.5 minutes of the race to go. Two leaders well clear. Matt Bell continues to set the pace. Wait to see if the track surface does begin to change here. No umbrellas up in the grandstand there at the bomb hole. Matt Bell continues to set a relentless pace up front. His last lap there was a 1:55, so the lap time from slow lift, his best lap a 1:51. There's Chris Bridle pushing on in third in the Grey Cup. Fourth behind them is Broadbent, there is the 87. The window opens after 20 minutes of this race, so in about 4.5 minutes time. 3.2 seconds is now the gap, so Matt Bell has pulled away. And the lap times are dropping off. Yes, the last lap was a 1:58 for the race leader. The last lap for Charles Hall was 2 minutes. So yes, conditions I would say are beginning to deteriorate slightly. Through the left at Agostini they go. Let's hope we don't have a full-scale cloud burst here. The lap times are certainly starting to rise here. Matt Bell continues to lead. Second race of the weekend for the Praga Cup UK. Still see those drops of rain on the camera lens. A little bit of rain in the air. There go the leaders. Through Brundle, then up to the right-hander at Nelson. Are they just starting to take it easy here? They're all out on slicks, I think. Leaders certainly are. Last thing they want is for the weather to get any worse. Here's the battle at the back between Hepworth and Jay Morton. So 8th place. Pit window opens in 3 minutes. Yes, there are 1 or 2 umbrellas going up now, so conditions starting to worsen. Will we see anybody switch on to wet weather tyres during the pit stops? I imagine everybody will be in as soon as the pit window opens if conditions are getting worse significantly. Bell leads by 7 seconds now, ahead of Charles Hall. Chris Bridle still third. Broadbent is fourth. Battle at the back goes over the line. Now you can see the drops of rain on our camera lens at Ridges now as Jay Morton trying to make a move here to relegate the former champion Jem Hepworth to the tail of the field. Further ahead of them, this is 5th and 6th, Dan Gore. 4.5 seconds clear of Shane Kelly. His progress up the order has been checked somewhat. Remains in 6th place. Then we'll have Rod Goodman. And then the battle at the back. Here comes Morton up the inside. Is he going to go through? Side by side into Agostini. And Morton goes through. Jem Hepworth seems to be struggling here in the 86. The window not yet open. We're on lap 10 of this 1 hour Praga Cup UK race. 7 seconds in it for the lead. Matt Bell pulling away in car number 4 at the head of the pack. A further 6 seconds back in third is Chris Bryde. Jimmy Broadbent is just over 4 seconds behind him. And then 7.5 seconds back is Dan Gore in the number 29 Vittel Cars machine in 5th place. We can head down to the pit area with Ewan, and he's talking to the second driver of the 87 car. Jimmy Broadbent will soon be handing over to the Scotsman Gordy Much. He's with Ewan.
Cheers, Dave. With Gordy, not the start Jimmy would have wanted. What are you looking at on the screen behind you?
Yeah, obviously it's slightly treacherous out there. Everyone's dropped off the pace. There's a little bit of rain in the air. It hasn't fully rained yet, so everyone's just kind of taking it a little bit easy. But yeah, back down in P4, not exactly the start that we wanted, but you know, it's plenty of time left in the race.
You must be absolutely raring to get out there.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see what we can do.
Gordy, best of luck, mate.
Thank you.
Good, buddy. Okay, so Gordy much taking over from Jimmy Broadbent. It's going to be a great second half to this race. Back to you, Dave.
Yes, it won't be long now, I don't think, before the pro drivers begin to take over, because the pit window has just opened. They have about 15 minutes to make their stops. So the weather looking iffy here at Snetterton, but the lead gap is now 6.6 seconds. Gap closed by half a second on the last lap between Bell and Hall at the front of the field. Hall Motorsport car has set the pace throughout ahead of the Mittel Cars machine. Third place is still the Idola Motorsport car of the Bridles. And then the 87, the Fanatec Praga team car, still there in Mittel cars in fifth, the number 29. Sixth is the number 11, the University of Wolverhampton team. Who's going to be the first car to come into the pits? It's not Matt Bell. He's one of the quicker AB drivers, so he'll keep going a bit longer, I think. Charles Hall, likewise, there he goes. Last lap time was a 1:54, so I think it's improving again out there at the moment. No pit callers so far on this lap. They'll probably just be getting the notification the pit window is open, so they'll go round again and then the first will start to come in. It's Matt Bell, the hugely experienced sports car racer. You can stop with the bomb hole jokes in the YouTube chat, thank you very much. I do the innuendos. Through Williams goes the leader. There is Charles Hall in second place in the car share with the boss of Mittel Cars, Scott Mittel, based down in Hampshire. 5.5 seconds between the two of them at that time through, so he's closing the gap very slightly. We've got a second now to do on that last lap from Matt Bell. He'll hand over to Rob Weldon, the number 4 car. Bridles, of course, it'll be bridle to bridle because Chris will hand over to his brother Ed. Five and a half seconds was the gap. What's it going to be this time through? Over the line goes the number 4. Down to 5 seconds now, so he's closing in slowly but surely, Charles Hall. This third sector of the race there, all 136.25. Is anybody going to come in this time around? Rivals go through. There's some 15 seconds off Charles Hall now, 20 seconds off the leader, Ed Rydell. Broadbent is through in 4th place. He's close to within 4 seconds of Rydell now. Dan Gore still there in 5th. I don't think we're going to get any pit callers this time through. Maybe down towards the back. We'll see when Goodman, Morton and Hendrick come through. We have got our first pit caller, just as I say that. Rod Goodman has come in. And Jay Morton's in as well, so getting Ben Collins in the car as early as possible there. There is the number 31. Lovely turtle paint job. Rod Goodman, the only solo driver, as you mentioned, in this race. Quick check going on. They have to sit for the standard minimum time, which is 2 minutes. There's number 29. I haven't seen much of Dan Gore. He's on his own in 5th place. He's about 5 seconds off the 4th place car of Broadbent's. He's a couple of seconds ahead of Shane Kelly, starting to close in now. There he is, Shane Kelly. The car will continue to fly with Stefano leading at the wheel, the LMP3 regular, XF3 Cup champion. There are the bridles. Chris Bridle still on board in 3rd place. Jay Morton still in the pits, handing over to Ben Collins. There is the 87 Broadbent. Continues on. New fastest lap for Charles Hall, 150.317. Now he's starting to close. Going down to less than 5 seconds now, closing on Matt Bell. Kelly starting to catch Gore now, and Broadbent is in. Jimmy Broadbent has pitted. Okay, Dan Gore has come in as well. Chippy Westmail will take over. Gordy Much will get in the 87 car. 84 still in 3rd place. Charles Hall is starting to wear down the lead held by Matt Bell, slowly but surely. Chris Bridle further back in 3rd in the 84. There he is. Jeb Hepworth has pitted as well. The 86 car is taken over by David Morales. He'll certainly be needing you to cheer him on. I hope somebody gets that one. Here's our leader. There is the 2nd placeman, Charles Hall. I think we can head down to Ewan shortly in the pit lane, with pit stops starting to happen now. He's at the Praga team 85 pits. Ben Collins having just taken over that car. And yet Ewan is down in the team 85 pit talking to Jay Morton.
Cheers, Dave. Jay, how was that stint for you?
Yeah, very good. I think that's the best stint I've ever done in the car. Now, it felt good, like it started to rain for a little bit, but it felt like the car still had plenty of grip and gripping the tyres and the aero.
We were throwing down some really good lap times, especially towards the end of that stint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. Like all weekend, I've just progressed and got better. And I think if I'd have stayed out of the court, Goodman, definitely.
I mean, just starting to drizzle at the end of your stint there. Just starting to drizzle at the end. Did you feel that?
A little bit in the low speed stuff. The high speed stuff felt great. It was more just getting.
Great run, mate. Hand it over to a great driver too.
Yeah, Ben's going to bring it home for sure.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Back to you, Dave.
Good to hear from Jay Morton. I don't think we've heard from the ex-SAS soldier before. Served in the parachute regiment as well. SAS Who Dares Wins on Channel 4. There's a man who does not know the meaning of the word fear. There's his car, now driven by Ben Collins. Back of the field at the moment, chasing down Rod Goodman. Jem Hepworth's car still in the pit, so and the 29 car, Chippy Westmail, rejoins in the middle of these two. Ben Collins moves up onto the back of the 29 car there. David Morales has just rejoined in the number 86 car. And we can hand down to Ewan in the pits, who is going to be talking shortly to the driver who has just got out of that number 86 car, the Arden Bayadola car. He's talking to number 86, Jem Hepworth.
Cheers, Dave. Now with Jem Hepworth. Jem, how was that stint for you?
Yeah, difficult one. Really annoyed, to be fair. I had a really good start. I was making up places and catching the people in front. And then I kind of just lost my confidence a bit with the rain. I had a bit of a moment under the bridge where it was slippery. And yeah, I just couldn't get my brain out of that moment, sadly. But I've handed over to David now. The car's good. No damage. So yeah, we've got half an hour to get where we can.
Great to see you back in Praga. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, of course. I love these cars, so I'm very happy to be back in one. Just wish I could have done a better job today, but hopefully David can do us proud now.
We're going to see you in the rest of the rounds as well?
Don't know yet.
Fingers crossed. Cheers, Jem.
Thank you.
Okay, Jem Hepworth, Dave, back to you, buddy.
Jem Hepworth struggling a bit through her stint there, but always smiling as ever. Now, the next 3 cars behind our leader have all come in. Charles Hall is in to hand over to Scott Vittel. Ed Rival will be taking over from Chris, and Shane Kelly's in as well to hand over to Stefano Lini. So the leader is the only car that has yet to stop. There is the number 86, now driven by David Morales, the 18-year-old from Florida, beating in GB3 single-seaters this year, trying out Praga for the first time this weekend. He makes his way up over the start-finish line. Back of the field at the moment. And, Ben Collins, I tell you, we just saw as we cut to interview there, he's made his way past Rod Goodman up into 6th position. The pits are a busy place at the moment. The 87 car is now there. He is driven by Gordy Much. And Jimmy Broadbent has just got out of that car. The Fanatec team, and I believe Ewan is down in the Fanatec team 87 pits. And he's talking to Jimmy.
Cheers, Dave. Just moved along the pit lane to Jimmy Broadbent. Jimmy, not the start you would have wanted after sticking it on pole.
No, not really, but we sort of expected to lose the start there. I think it sort of jumped on the guy next to me. He started ahead of me, so I might have to have a word about that. Yeah, it was pretty fun, getting absolutely mobbed at T1, and maybe made a few wrong choices for where to place my car, but it's my first time starting from pole, so it's all experience.
We heard a ripple of information that he might have jumped you just by a couple of metres or so do go and find out. The rain, how much effect did that have?
I mean, I'd say probably like a 3-4 seconds lap, maybe a bit more. Obviously myself, I'm not
back over there, just spin left. I think they just drove into the back of the Praga there.
That was that. We were fighting the drivers, so don't like to see that happen, but at the same time, yeah, bad news for them.
The issues that we had with the car over the last couple of days sorted?
Yeah, I think so, all good now. Obviously our guys are working really hard to try and rectify that. Some of them were here till quite late last night, pretty much replacing that whole side. So yeah, August will be qualifying, so that holds the race.
And Gordy's going to go full guns blazing, isn't he?
He's an angry small Scotsman, so we'll send him out there and see what he does.
Jimmy, cheers, buddy, well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. And there we go, Gordy Much, off he goes, 87. Cheers, Dave.
Okay, so good to hear from Jimmy as always. That car is now showing in 2nd place on the tiny streets, and Gordy Much has immediately done the fastest lap of the race, 149.775. The leader has just come in, the number 4 of Matt Bell. Here he is. That's the last car to stop. He'll hand over to Rob Weldon. Pro car, of course. Just waiting to see how things are going to cycle through now. Mentioning Jimmy's comments regarding the start there, I can confirm that Race Control did investigate the start of the race and did not take any further action. They chose to take no further action over the start of the race. Another fastest lap for Gordy Much, 149.16 he has now done. So the 87 car, it looks like he's going to take the lead here with Matt Bell in the pits. Well, then we'll establish the order behind when everybody's been through. We saw a little bit of an incident in the pits involving a couple of cars, but it looks like they have survived that. And everybody is back out there. With the pro drivers now on board, lap speeds will start to increase. And I think we can head back down to Ewan, who's very busy in the pit area at the moment. With the final stopping taking place, he'll be down there in a second talking to Matt Bell.
Cheers, Dave. All action here in the pits now with our leader, Matt Bell. Matt, Matt, talk to us about that first stint. Awesome stuff, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was pretty difficult. I reacted to the red light a little bit quicker, so I got the jump at the start. Pulled a good gap in the first two laps. Still struggling a little bit with the balance of the car, and then obviously the rain started coming, and in a radical, you can open your visor a little bit and try and get a feel for how much it's raining, because obviously it streams off the windscreen. And as the lead car, I'm sort of the the guinea pig for finding out how much grip there is. So.
But after what happened yesterday and earlier on, you must be thrilled to be out there in front.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I think my pace yesterday was better in the race than it was today. Obviously, different conditions. So I think we got a half decent lead. So hopefully, Rob can keep it on the black stuff, go quickly, and we'll get the trophy we deserve.
Well done, great run.
Thank you very much.
Right, he's been taken over. The car leader, Matt Bell, handing over to Rob. Let's see how we get on. Back to you, Dave.
Right then, the cars have all made their stops. Thanks, Ewan. And the car we're looking at now, the car we were just talking to, is under investigation, car number 4, for a short pit stop. That could result in a penalty. The stewards are looking into that at the moment. So car number 4, now driven by Rob Weldon, is under investigation by the stewards for a short pit stop. They may have not spent the minimum amount of time in the pits. We shall see. It's on its out lap at the moment, so we'll see where it slots back in relation to the number 87 car, now driven by Gordy Much. Third place is number 77, that's now driven by Scott Mittell. And then 85 of Ben Collins. The pit window has just closed. Everybody's made their stop. We've just had a notification. The manager of car 4 is to report to race control. Management of car 4 to report to race control. It's just come through to us on our feed. There is our race leader, the number 4. He's completed his 18th lap. We'll see what the gap is when the other cars go over the line. The gap is exactly 16 seconds between Rob Weldon and Gordy Much. Much has just done a 1:48.606, the quickest lap of the race so far. So everything has just about cycled through now. We can take a look at the race order. So it's Rob Weldon leading in car number 4. 16 seconds exactly clear of Gordy Much in second place in the 87 car. Third, it should be the number 77. Yes, he goes through nearly 29 seconds down on second place. Scott Mittell. Ben Collins is next to him. He's only 2.3 seconds off Scott Mittell. Then we've got Chippy Westmail. He's 4 3/4 seconds behind Ben Collins. And then the fight for 6. Stefano Lini is on board the number 11 car. He's got 2 cars up behind him. This is the closest battle at the moment. Ed Bridle in the 84 trying to make a move on the 31 of Rod Goodman. He goes through at Riches up into 7th position, and 6 1/4 seconds behind these 3 is David Morales. There he is, the number 86 car. So it's fairly close further down the order as Ed Bridle just runs a little bit wide there through the hairpin. Leaders fairly well spaced out. It's all happening further back in the pack. Less than a second covering Leany, Goodman and Bridle, these 3. Bridle now up into 7th place and chasing after Stefano Leany. We've seen race for the Mittell Cars team in the past. Into University of Wolverhampton. Rob Weldon has gone through and completed his 19th lap. Oh, the number 4 car has been given a stop-go penalty. Car number 4, stop-go penalty for a short pit stop. They've got to sit stationary in the pits for 1 second only, but the time taken to get into and out of the pits to serve it, that's going to handicap them. They are 13 seconds clear of Gordy Much, so this is almost certainly going to lose them the lead. So car number 4 has been given a stop-go penalty for a short pit stop. Gordy Much is certainly going to take the lead. He's just done another fastest lap of the race, 1:48.258. Was 2 seconds quicker than, no, 3 seconds quicker, sorry, than Rob Weldon's previous lap. Scott Mittell in 3rd place is some 30 seconds down on Gordy Much now. He's being threatened by Ben Collins. The 85 car is only half a second behind Scott Mittell now, so we could see a change for 3rd place. We need to wait and see if the leader comes in this time to serve that stop-go. He'll be informed by the Raw Motorsport team, Rob Weldon. Gets out of the bomb hole up towards Cora. We know that Ed Bridle's got through to 7th ahead of Rod Goodman, now challenging Stefano Lini. There's only 3/4 of a second between those two. And in he comes. Yep, Rob Weldon comes in to serve the stop-go. Number 87 is surely going to go through to take the lead. There he is in the background. There goes Gordy Much. Up across the line, into the lead. So the number 4 car will pull up to serve the penalty, and we have a new leader. It's this man, number 87, Gordy Much. Now, wait to see how far behind Scott Mittel is and whether he's going to go through into 2nd place. There is the battle for 3rd as well, Mittel and Collins. Now, is Rob Weldon going to get embroiled in that? Are we going to have a 3-way fight for 2nd here, I wonder? Waiting for the 77 car to go through over the line at the moment. Weldon has rejoined. And Scott Mittel, what's happened there? Scott Mittel's come through in 5th place. Yeah, he lost a few seconds on that last lap, and Collins is through, so is Chippy Westmail. So it's all change in the minor placings. Collins, Westmail, Mittel is now the order. Further back, Stefano Lini still just ahead of Ed Bridle. There's Collins, there's Westmail, and there is Scott Mittel. His last lap was a 1:56, so he must have had a bit of a moment somewhere. Chippy Westmail ahead of him, number 29. Or has that 77 car got a problem? Looked a bit slow there out of Agostini. So it's Ben Collins up to 3rd in the 85, shared with Jay Morton. What's his lap time compared to Chippy Westmail? About the same last time through. Keep an eye on Scott Mittel's lap times. There he is. Looks okay through to the Bentley straight. Gordy Much has gone across the line to complete his 21st lap. He's the only car lapping under 1:50 at the moment. Is that a puff of smoke I just saw there from the 29, or was it tyre smoke? Chippy Westmail. David Morales, meanwhile, has got ahead of Rod Goodman. The lead gap is 21.8 seconds, so Rob Weldon is still 2nd. And here's the fight between Bridle, Kelly, and Morales. Not Kelly, Stefano Lini, sorry, he's taken over that car now, of course. So Ed Bridle has got ahead of Stefano Lini. First weekend in that car, the number 11, Stefano Lini. Still learning it as David Morales, the American, closes up. Has a look on the inside of Murray's. He won't get through there. Rod Goodman at the back of the field behind them. Over 17 minutes of this race to go. How far behind Mittel is Bridle? 21 seconds. He's lapping about a second slower. David Morales making a move on the hairpin. Stefano Lini, that was close. I thought he wasn't going to see him there. Gives him room. Morales through into 7th place. Stefano Lini starting to drop back. All 9 cars still on the lead lap though. Towards the final quarter of this 2nd Praga Cup UK race of the weekend. Here's Gordy Much in the 87 who has the lead, pulling away from Rob Weldon after the number 4 car had to serve a stop-go penalty. The lead gap is 23 seconds. It's Ben Collins who heads the scrap for 3rd. 25 seconds ahead of Chippy Westmail, who's just done his personal best. Oh, and that's the 11 car. I thought Stefano Lini was slowing down, and he's pulled over. I think that's on the Bentley straights. He lost a couple of places there in the last 2 laps, and it looks like the University of Wolverhampton car is out of the race. There is the 77 with Scott Mitchell on board. His last lap was a 1:53, so that car's slightly off the pace. Lost out quite rapidly after the pit stops to Collins and Westmail. Further back it's Bridle 6th, Morales 7th in the car started by Jem Hepworth, Rod Goodman in 8th. There is the number 4 in 2nd place, a rather lonely 2nd place now. He's 23 seconds off the lead. He's 13 seconds ahead of Ben Collins in 3rd place. Has already gone through to start his 24th lap. Misfortune yesterday with that repeated turbo pipe problem. The 87 car had its practice times disallowed, was disqualified from the race for the same reason. He took pole for today's race. Jimmy Broadbent started it. Already much taking over. It's looking good here for the 87 car. There's Stefano Lini out of his car. Here comes David Morales all over the tail of Ed Bridle now. This is the fight for 6th place. Through the bomb hole. Camera, you can't really see just how deep that little depression is there at the bomb hole, the way you drop down into it, and then out the other side is Morales up alongside. Has he got through? Yes, he has. Bridle fights back there side by side along the straight here. 13.5 minutes to go as Ed Bridle fights around the outside down towards Riches. It's going to be a brave move against David Morales. Morales holds the place. Out towards the hairpin. Swing their way round to the right. Morales has it at the moment. This is for 6th position with Rod Goodman a bit further back behind them. Closest fight on track other than this is probably between Ben Collins and Chippy Westmail. They're 6 seconds apart. The gap is up to nearly 25 seconds now. Going towards the closing stages now. If anything, Morales starting to pull away here from the 84 of Ed Bridle. 3 more rounds of the Praga Cup UK to go after this meeting. They go to Silverstone, then 2 rounds at Donington. Beside the first ever standalone Praga Cup UK champions, it's Scott Mitchell and Charles Hall who lead the points at the moment, extending their lead with the win yesterday. Hopefully see Richard Wells and Alex Capadia, last year's champions, return for the next round at Silverstone. And our 3rd place man, the 85 of Ben Collins, taking over from Jay Morton. Heads around Palmer's. See what the gap is back to Westmail now. It was up to nearly 7 seconds last time through. There's Westmail in the background. The stature of Praga when you see the drivers of the calibre of Charles Hall, Matt Bell, of course Ben Collins are in this series, Jem Hepworth and David Morales as well. Gordy Much to our race leader, phenomenally fast in these cars, as he's currently proving. He's done the best lap of the race of 1:48.123. Nobody else has lapped under 1 minute 49 so far. There is the leader. Just waiting to see what the gap is here as Rob Weldon comes through. To nearly 28 seconds now. Collins is 10 seconds back. Let's compare lap times. Collins is lapping over a second quicker than Rob Weldon. 10 seconds on the clock, 10 minutes left to go. Can Ben Collins catch Rob Weldon? We'll wait and see. Green time there means personal best on the graphics. Chippy Westmail fourth, Michelle fifth. There is our second place, and there you can see clearly what the gap is. Second placeman Rob Weldon into Oggies, the car taken over from Matt Bell. Gordy Much just so quick in one of these Pragas. Came through junior racing into Ginettas. There on into the Pragas over the last couple of years. Scott Mittel, has he got ahead of Chippy Westmail? Yes, he has. What's happened there? Because the gap between them at the line last time through was some 16 seconds. So what's happened for Chippy Westmail then? Closing back up again. Something happened there to the 29 car. Has he had an off somewhere? We didn't see, unfortunately. The gap is up to nearly 30 seconds now. This is the battle for fourth position then. Mittel now ahead of Westmail. Through the bomb hole. You can see Westmail trying his hardest to get the place back again. Must have lost quite a lot of time there. He may have had a spin somewhere. We'll see what his lap time is as he crosses the line. Behind Scott Mittel in the number 77. Yes, his last lap was a 2 minutes 9. He lost nearly 20 seconds there. Chippy Westmail. We didn't see what's happened, unfortunately, but he goes wide again. He may have done something like that, actually. Chippy Westmail trying a little bit too hard there. New fastest lap of the race, meanwhile, for Gordy Much, 1:48.123. Ben Collins is lapping in the 1:48s now, and David Morales in the high 1:48s. So lap speed starting to increase in the closing stages of this race, so they would understandably increase with the pro drivers on board. Still seeing puffs of smoke as he slows for the turns there. Chippy Westmail, the 29. Is there something wrong with the brakes, maybe? It's fighting on, though. Now Gordy Much goes into the 1:47s, 1:47.533. He's doing a new fastest lap every time, Gordy Much. Meantime, here comes Chippy Westmail onto the tail of the 77 of Mittel. Mittel holds him off. Keeps that fourth place. He's fighting for the championship, of course, and with Westmail and Gore taking second yesterday, they're in championship contention too. Every point vital. Westmail sliding it out of the bomb hole there. Gordy Much still with that 1:47.533, another quickest lap. Westmail wide over the curve. He's pushing too hard here. Over 6 minutes to go. Here is our leader. Total dominance from Gordy Much this weekend. Nearly 32 seconds clear of Rob Weldon. Now he's lapping nearly 2 seconds a lap quicker than him at the moment. What's his lap time going to be this time through at Gordy Much? Praga ambassador. Competes in sim racing alongside former Formula 1 driver Roman Grosjean. He's a Praga ambassador, the Franco-Swiss driver. Much now does a 1:47.288. He is blitzing the lap times there. Weldon still second. Here's that battle for fourth place. They're well behind Ben Collins, who's in a safe third. He's still catching Rob Weldon, but I don't think he's going to quite catch him by the end of the race. Only closing by a few tenths of a second a lap. There's 8 seconds between them. Can Chippy Westmail get back into fourth place? Westmail lines up Scott Mittel down the Bentley straights. The left at Brundles, he's on the wrong side to attack there. David Morales now in 6th position. He's got ahead of Ed Bridle, I can tell you, further back. Rod Goodman, the final runner, because of course Stefano Lini out of the race. Chippy Westmail harrying the 77 car as they go through 4. Is that David Morales starting to catch our fourth place battle? Yes, it is. Leader, meanwhile, is about to lap Rod Goodman in 8th place. So David Morales, yeah, he's only 3 seconds off Chippy Westmail now, and Mittel and Westmail so busy battling each other, they haven't noticed the 86 car catching them up. This is going to be a 3-way fight shortly. Coming up towards Palmer's. Gordy Munch was trying to lap Rod Goodman there. There's the 4th place battle. Look in the background. There's David Morales. And his last lap was a 1:49. The two ahead of him, but lapping in the 1:52s. He's going to catch these two. 3.5 minutes of the race to go. Catching's one thing, passing is another entirely, of course. Gordy Munch's last lap was a 1:50.2. No fastest lap that time because, of course, he was lapping back marker traffic. Tell still holding off Westmail. Nose to tail there out of the right-hander of Williams. Is David Morales going to catch them? Can he get through for 4th place? It'll be the highest the 86 car has been in this race. As he's weaving up there, starting to limber up. More smoke from the back of the 29. Whether that's just tyre smoke, I don't think it is. Chippy Westmail fighting on, he gets sideways. Is that car dropping a bit of oil? Is that the reason for the bit of smoke? Because that's the second time I've seen Westmail go sideways. He had a moment earlier on because he lost about 20 seconds on one lap, and Morales is right with them now, the 86 car. The man from Miami is ready to attack. Here he goes. He's in the slipstream down the straights. Is anyone going to pull out here into the right-hander at Riches? No. Mittel holds the place, then Westmail. Morales behind them. There's a look on the inside on the exit of the right-hander. He's up alongside Chippy Westmail, David Morales to the inside. They're still side by side on the exit of the hairpin. Has he got the overlap there? No. Westmail is there on the inside for the left-hander at Palmer, and he holds that 5th position. But Morales is attacking. He's not holding back here. Gordy Munch's last lap of 1:47.8. They're still side by side for 5th place. Trying to go around the outside of Agostini, that rarely works. David Morales had to back out there. Westmail and Mittel still ahead of him. Gap is now less than 7 seconds between Weldon and Collins for 2nd place. Morales has another look to the inside. Westmail moves to cover at the right-hander at Oggies. Try again down the Bentley straight, try and slipstream him into the left at Brundles. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Down the straight they go towards the left-hander at Brundle. Yeah, that smoke's getting worse than the 29 car, but he's still soldiering on. Still attacking. Scott Mittel, Chippy Westmail. Morales just looking on behind them. Gordy Munch has completed his 30th lap. He's now 34.5 seconds clear of Rob Weldon. There is your leader, number 87. Through the bomb hole. I think there'll be one more lap to go after this one for Gordy Much. Well, this time the 87 car and the team, it looks like they've got it right. No problems earlier in the weekend. They're going to make up for it here as Westmail goes wide on the hairpin, but David Morales not able to capitalise. Still, Scott Mittel holds them off in the 77, looking to preserve his championship lead. Goes to the inside, Morales jinks across, that's a single-seater move if ever I saw one. He's surely going to go underneath the 29 here. They're side by side on the exit of Agostini. Morales, oh, he gets it crossed up and doesn't manage to get through. The clock is down to 0. Still this battle goes on. It's going to go right to the flag, this one. This is terrific stuff. Meanwhile, Gordy Much is heading for victory, and the car started by Jimmy Broadbent. Westmail to the inside now, attacking the 77 of Scott Mittel. Meantime, there's the leader, the 87, the Broadbent and Much car. Still side by side, Westmail around the outside, he's got past him. He's through on Mittel. Chippy Westmail round the outside of Brundle, got the inside for Nelson. And now is David Morales going to be able to get past the 77. And look at the way that Westmail is pulling away. The 77 car was clearly the cork in the bottle there. And now he's fairly rocketing away as they go towards Murray. He's coming through to start their final lap because they are not going to be lapped. Here is our leader. Problems yesterday, no problem today. The problem rectified for the 87 car, the Fanatec Praga Team 87 car, started by Jimmy Broadbent, taken over by Gordy Much, who has blitzed the field in the second half of this race, and he's coming in for a dominant victory here at Snetterton. The 87 car takes the win, over 30 seconds clear of Rob Weldon. The number 4 Raw Motorsport car started by Matt Bell. Their race was undone by a stop-go penalty for a short pit stop. We'll wait to see who's going to finish ahead in that battle for 4th place. Number 4 car coming in to be flagged off for 2nd place. It's going to be Ben Collins and Jay Morton in 3rd, for I think will be their best results of the season. They're not all that far behind. And here's the battle for the back, and Morales has got past Scott Mittel. Mittel seems to be struggling, the 77 car. Rob Weldon across the line for 2nd. There's Collins in for 3rd. Now, what about this battle for 4th? This race really came alive in its closing stages. There's Chippy Westmail. Stefano Lini with a grandstand view there, sadly out of the race, alongside the Bentley straights. Westmail's pulled away slightly from Morales. There is Mittel. Is that Ed Bridle up behind him? Yes, there he is. Bridle's not quite going to catch them. An absorbing midfield fight in this 2nd Praga Cup UK race of the weekend. There is Ed Bridle. Mixed fortunes for them this weekend, the Bridle twins. Inherited 3rd place yesterday. But this huge fight for 4th place is going to be won by the car started by Dan Gore, driven to 4th by Chippy Westmail. He comes home to take the flag. 5th is the car of Hepworth and Morales. Mittel comes through for 6th in the car started by Charles Hall, that ran 2nd early on. The Bridle's 7th. Rod Goodman a lap down in 8th place. Sadly, Stefano Lini and Shane Kelly failing to finish. The provisional results of that Praga Cup UK race and the 2nd of the weekend. Gordy Much and Jimmy Broadbent the winners by nearly 38 seconds at the flag, ahead of Rob Weldon and Matt Bell. 3rd place for Jay Morton and Ben Collins. They were only less than 4 seconds off 2nd place at the end there. Chippy Westmail winning that huge fight for 4th in the car started by Dan Gore. Jem Hepworth and David Morales 5th. Scott Mittel and Charles Hall slipping to 6th at the flag. The Bridle twins 7th. Rod Goodman a lap down in 8th place, and Stefano Lini and Shane Kelly, the University of Wolverhampton car, sadly failing to finish. Great race from the Praga Cup UK then. And we will head down into Parc Fermé with Ewan in just a moment to talk to some of the riders.
the post-race numbers and so on, they just done a quick chat with you guys over the moon. That's something the guy wants to get on.
Well, what a race. A race of two halves. Gordy Munch taking over in the second half and getting the win again. Hopefully this one sticks this time for Goldie too. Gordy, I won't quote Jimmy word for word, but he said you were pretty angry.
Yeah, like I said, this drive was, this weekend's been frustrating, so I put, all of the annoyance and everything of the weekend into that drive.
How important is this win for your season?
Yeah, I mean, especially off the back of this weekend, we needed to hit back hard with a good result, so I also pushed for the fastest lap, so got that point as well.
You kept going faster and faster as the rain came down. What were you doing in there?
As I saw the raindrops in the windscreen, instead of thinking, well, I better back off, my main thought was, well, I need to keep on pushing to keep the temp of the tyre. If anything, it made it, a little bit cooler.
Congratulations, mate. Good job.
Thank you. Cheers. If anything, it made the air a little bit cooler. The track cooled down, and the conditions actually went faster. So just kept my head together when the rain started coming and make the most of it.
Awesome to watch. I'll let you go and celebrate with Jimmy and the team.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, let's grab Rob Weldon. Where's Rob got? I'm going to grab Ben Collins actually, third place. Ben, can we grab you in please, buddy? Sensational. Qualifying in 8th position. Jay gave you a good start, but when he handed over to you, he said he's going to bring this home.
That's very noble. I love him. He's because he did a great job in the first half, and Jay's performance has been great this weekend. He's been bringing his A game. He's been getting faster and faster. He managed to overtake the Arden car, so he put us in a really good position for the second half of the race. And the car's was fantastic. So thanks to Praga for giving me that.
With the changing conditions, how important is experience?
Yeah, I mean it definitely plays in. And it's very, you go around Coram, whatever we're doing, 130 odd, and you can see splashes on the windscreen. So it's difficult to read, but you can feel it in your fingertips. And but that does come with experience. I think that's where I was most impressed with Jay, because he didn't just go round. He rose to that occasion, put in another one of his fastest laps of the weekend, and at the time, actually, it was 4 seconds quicker than anybody else, which says something. So it is changeable, but I thought that was really amazing. So he's getting the feel and the instincts, and that's what it's all about.
The reliability of the Prague has proven itself this week, and it shows how good a class this can be now.
I absolutely love this racing. My favourite type of racing has always been LMP prototypes. Going on in the car when you're driving them, they're really, really fun to drive, and the grids are growing, but the competition is really fierce. If you get a big grid, but there's only 6 guys who are quick. Mm-hmm. I'd say this is much stronger. We've got 18 drivers, and there's some really great talent all through the field. So it's fantastic fun.
Fun for you to drive, great for us to watch, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Ben.
See you next time.
Right, let's try and grab Rob Weldon. He's shotting away. So we're actually going to jump in with Jimmy Broadbent if we can in just a second. Didn't have the greatest of starts, but my goodness, didn't call you bring it home. They are behind us checking the data on the car, so this could still again potentially go to scrutineering and have a little look, but fingers crossed this one can stick. Jimmy, come on mate, you said he's going to bring it home. I called him angry. But he did pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he did what he said he was going to do. After yesterday, we said, well, we'll go win it anyway, and we did. So, I'm so proud of him. He's such a talent, Gordy. I really hope that we see a lot of him in the future.
What does this win mean for you guys after the weekend you've had?
Yeah, it feels like sort of vindication. Like after showing that we have the pace. Obviously we had that problem yesterday, and people were attributing that problem to our speed and our result, and obviously that's not the case. So.
We're looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, I'm now, yeah.